Hello, happy winter. Does anyone here actually like winter? Whenever I meet someone who says that their favorite season is winter, I like to blame winter weather on them as if we have winter weather because some people say they like it. So it'll be like really horrible, like blizzard, and I'm like, are you having fun right now? I want to see you like carelessly giggling because you're having so much fun because it's winter. Yeah, I just think those people are kind of lying. But alas, winter is upon us. Thanks a lot. And I wanted to do a video that I did in the spring and the summer. I missed the fall. We'll do it next year. Whatever. So I asked on my Instagram story what winter makeup means. Really looking for anything. Looking for products, techniques, vibes, like whatever comes to mind so I could do a full face of it today. I really wasn't sure what the answers were going to be for winter because I feel like winter is the least romanticized season. I was thinking about this today and I'm like, okay, when spring comes around, we're excited that it's like finally not cold anymore, flowers are blooming, summer's on the horizon, fun. Summer, it's warm. I think a lot of us have very nostalgic memories of not having school, not having responsibilities, even though like a lot of us do now. Fall is like the relief from the heat. Leaves are falling. It's really like an overhaul of nature. And then winter's just winter. Winter's just cold. It's like, okay, 4 days in, we have Christmas if you celebrate. But other than that, it's like months of it being cold. I swear some days I have a better outlook, but I'm like, it's the first day of the New York winter. I'm like, great. So I got a bunch of responses. Thank you to everyone who participated. If you didn't participate and you want to participate in the future, my Instagram is Hot Vegan Hannah, just like it is here. I don't post that much. Maybe I'll change that in the future. Maybe I won't. I don't know. So I'll read you some of the responses and then I'll kind of tell you my takeaways from it. I'm seeing darker and more muted, cool tones and high contrast, red lips and gold eyes, berry cheeks, icy blues, iridescence, cool tones, sparkly neutral eyeshadow and a red lip, cold makeup, so red or pink cheeks, wet look lids, another for cool toned makeup, bright, light, icy eyeshadow, cool toned blush, plump skin so you don't look crusty, rosy cheeks, sparkly eyes, red lips, simple makeup, flush cheeks, neutral sparkly eyes, cool tones, and sparkle. And there was some paraphrasing in there, but I feel like the two kind of categories I'm seeing are more of like the cold girl makeup and the holiday makeup. So the cold girl, I think it was really trending, was it last winter? Where the look was like very icy eyes, very like pink cheeks, like you had just been out in the winter, like literally trying to look like a glam version of being cold. And I think that's the aspect I wasn't as surprised to see as I was to see neutral sparkly eyeshadow with like a red lip. Because I do think of that as holiday makeup and not as winter makeup. But also maybe it makes sense that what a lot of people think of as winter makeup is the makeup that you wear for the most exciting time of the season. It just so happens that that exciting time of the season is like the first week of the season. So I think what I'm gonna do today leans a little bit more towards the neutral sparkly eye and red lip vibe because the video that's going up tomorrow, I filmed it before even like thinking about doing this video, but I think the look that I come up with tomorrow does lean more into that cold girl thing without like trying to be. So yeah, let's go more of like the holiday route today. So I haven't yet come up with a game plan of what shimmer I want to do for my lids. Like I see the vision of something light, cool toned, maybe kind of icy, but I also don't want it to be super overpowering because like one of my first thoughts was a silver, but I feel like a silver is too bold unless I have a silver that I can kind of sheer out a little bit more and make it look a little bit more glossy. What about Glaminatrix Party? I remember not being crazy about these because they weren't like that intense. But now I'm looking for something that's not that intense. No, I think that base is a little bit warmer than what I want, but I do like, I mean, I think that would be pretty. All right, that's still in the running, but I'm not totally sold yet. What about another shade from the collection? This one is Confetti. This one looks more purple in the pan. I don't know if I've used these at all since I was swatching them. That one kind of feels too purple. Okay, this is one that I did think of initially, but I'm scared it's too full pigment. This is Haze of the Moon from Terra Moons, because this one is very silver. See? Is that too silver? But it does have some warmth to the base, so it does have some contrast. Let me see if I can yeah, maybe that sheared out is the answer. Now I'm doubting if it's cool toned enough, but I think I'll pair it with a cool tone crease. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. My beautiful neutral palette from the beginning of the month has kind of gone through it a little bit. There's been a lot of shuffling around with a lot of filming this month and some travel, so I feel like I took some out for that reason, and they haven't found their way back yet. But thankfully, because I don't reach into cool tones that much, this is the main one that I'm looking for. This is from ColourPop. I doubt it's still available because ColourPop likes to ColourPop. This is the shade Chic Happens, and I feel like this works when I want something more cool, but it doesn't feel that cool. Like, something about it does feel almost brown. Let's see. See? It looks more brown on the eyes. Because I know if I just go in with like a straight up gray, I'm cutting down my chances of liking the look, and I feel like this shade is kind of like a compromise. Okay, I do see two other options in my neutral palette before we commit to Haze of the Moon. This is Cookie Dough from Luxie that I know I like to pair with this ColourPop shade. And this is much more of like a sheer shadow, but it does have like a very nice, cool flip to it. Ooh, that's so good. And then, this one might be too intense, but I also have Mystic Moon Pie from Divina, which is gorgeous, and it has like cool and warm elements to it, like a very cool silver sparkle, but a very warm base. I'm trying to see it sheared out a little bit. That could possibly work sheared out, but I think I'm leaning more towards this or that other one. I shouldn't have wiped off that swatch. Here's Haze of the Moon again. You know, I'm gonna stick with this one. This looks really nice. And not as silver as I was imagining. Okay, just gonna go in lightly with my finger. Was that light enough? I don't know. Just trying to shear it out a little bit using my other finger. I mean, this is still a light neutral, right? I feel like it doesn't look quite as sheer as I was thinking it would. Okay, there, I put in a little bit, and then I'm gonna blend it out. Yeah, I feel like you can tell that this one is more sheer. I wiped some off of this lid. And actually that worked to then just like spread what was remaining over that empty spot. Did that? Yeah, that worked, right? It's always so weird when I'm working with like really light shades on camera because it's harder for me to tell at times. Because like if the light's not adjusted right, I lose my contrast and then I'm like, wait, where is it? It feels like a crime for the eyes to be this simple, but I feel like that's the vibe. So next up for my base, I feel like there was very few mentions of the base. There was the one mention of plump skin, which I would think means like not matte. My personal thought that no one said, but in the winter, you're more bundled up, you're more likely to have like a coat on that you're taking on and off and a hat, and there's more likely to be wind. So for me, I don't necessarily need it to be matte, but I would veer away from like more dewy products because I'm more likely to mess up my face with like my hair and my hat and all that going on. So I feel like if the three options for skin are matte, natural, and dewy, it would have to be like right in the middle at that natural point so you don't look crusty and so your hair doesn't stick to you. I'm using my CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk that I always use, other than when I'm using my Merit stick, but that gives me a little bit more of a matte finish. This gives me like a nice natural finish. And I've been using this for like a lot of winters now, and all the other seasons too. There was a mention of less bronzer. So usually I take my bronzer and I do like all the spots. I do my cheeks, I do the top of my forehead, I do a little bit under my chin. Maybe I'll just do like the littlest bit of my cheeks because I don't want to do no bronzer. And then maybe I could actually make up for it by doing more blush on my forehead because I like something on my forehead. So there was a lot of mentions of cool tone blush, and I'm really not a cool tone blush person. I was just looking at all my options and I'm like, these are all these are all on the warmer end, but there were also a lot of mentions of like rosy cheeks or red cheeks, and perhaps that ties a little bit more into the cold girl thing, but I think that does make sense for winter. So I have two Merit blushes. They are cream blushes, or like gel blushes maybe one could say, but the thing I like about these year round is that they're not sticky, so I think it's okay, and I think I actually might mix both of these shades just to see what happens. I used this red one not too long ago in a video, but I haven't used Stockholm in a little while, and I've definitely never used them together. Okay, is this gonna be nuts? That's pretty rosy. You guys said rosy, I did rosy. And I am seeing the winter vibe. Like, it is coming together, especially with like the turtleneck going on. I can see me like in a ski lodge somewhere, sipping my hot cocoa. Let's just do this pink on the forehead and see. See how it compares. I think you can tell that the color is different, that the forehead looks more pink. And actually, I think the forehead might look too pink. That might have been a little bit too much up there. Okay, we'll do a little red up there, and then I will blend it down with my powder a little bit. Oh, I did forget to powder. That is something that I always do, not season specific. I have my Tarte powder, and I always just go under my eyes to set my concealer, down my nose, and we'll do forehead. Okay, and there is absolutely no mentions of highlight, so I'm just gonna do like my standard little bit of highlighting. I had makeup on earlier today for work, so my eyebrows were like half wiped off and they're looking a little messy, so let's just fill them back on in. For my lower lash line, I'm feeling like if I go in with the same ColourPop shadow, it won't be intense enough. It won't have enough contrast for me down there. So I'm gonna try this Luxie shade. This is called Lovely Bones, and I don't know if I've ever even used it. Looks like it might have some like little sparkles in there too. But this looks like a similar kind of like gray, like grayish brown, but a little bit deeper. Ooh, I like that down there. That's like exactly what I wanted. Cool. Okay, I need something for my inner corner, and I feel like cookie dough can have its moment. I feel like this will work to be a little bit brighter than the lid shade and still have like coolness to it. Yeah, and even that like little bit of frosty blue. Like, remember, I'm still in my ski lodge sipping my hot chocolate, and the sun's going down, but maybe the sun's like reflecting the snow a little bit on my face. So you're seeing this little glimmer in my inner corner, and you're like, is that Luxie cookie dough? Or is she just a winter goddess? And maybe it's both. I'm gonna keep it neutral for my eyeliner also, and I think I'm gonna go in with this Champagne Tarte one. And it has a black on the other side that works perfectly for tight lining. I finally just restocked on my Thrive tubing mascara after not having it for like most of the year, or at least the past like 6 months. And it is very intense, but also I feel like it doesn't come off my eyelashes as nice as other mascaras do. So I'm still kind of sorting out my feelings about that. Like, even now, I was wearing this mascara before, I removed my makeup, but I feel like I'm putting mascara on eyelashes that already have mascara on them. And I feel like they don't look quite as intense right now because of that. So I don't know. Ease of use, like ease of washing, is very important to me in a mascara. So I feel like the Thrive is kind of losing points. So as I was saying before, for lips, I was seeing a lot of red lips or dark lips as the suggestion. There were a couple other things. There was a couple frosty lips, a couple glossy lips, but the vast majority, red lips or dark lips. So I'm gonna take this as a perfect excuse to use this Melt Dracula liquid lipstick again. I've only used it that one time for the final look in the Davina Twilight Whispers Ice Watch video, and I loved how it looked. So I'm curious to see it now with not really any competition on the eyes, or really even the rest of the face. I feel like the whole face is pretty subtle. So let's see. I love this color. I don't know if I can fix that spot. Okay, I turned off the camera and then immediately made it worse. Okay, good as new maybe. This is the finished look. Okay, I see it. And I feel like especially with the more subtle colored top also, the red lip really pops, and I like that. I've also always admired people that wear like a really bold lip and no eye makeup, and I've always felt like I can't pull that off, or at least like I'm so not used to seeing myself like that that it feels weird to see myself. But I feel like this is kind of a version of that look because the eyes do feel very subtle, but there's like a little bit of depth in the crease, a little bit of shimmer on the lids, a little bit of darkening of the eyelashes, and in that way it gives some counterbalance to the lips, and that works for me. So let me know, did I nail the brief, or are you more of like a frosty eye, more of like a cold girl type of winter makeup person? Let me know. And also, as I said, stay tuned for the look tomorrow, which is unintentionally more of like the other direction of a winter look. So that'll be kind of fun to like compare the two options. So let me know, but then also like watch that and come back and let me know. I'll be here waiting. If you enjoyed this, I hope you will give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I also have a Patreon. I feel like I haven't been mentioning this recently and I've literally just been forgetting, but I have a Patreon where I've been randomly selecting eyeshadows and doing a couple looks with that. And I have a whole year of content logged there. So if you sign up, there's lots of videos available to watch. I'm going to have that link down below. No pressure, of course. I'm just so happy you are here watching, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye! Happy winter!